Coaches, welcome. My name is Erik Anderson. I am the League Administrator for the National New Shooter League and the National Air Pistol League, and you are attending the 2024 season's Coaches Meeting. Welcome, and thank you for attending. All right, as we get started, I know there are a few more people that will be logging in. So first thing I want to do is introduce John Becker. John Becker assists me with the administrative duties of the two leagues, and to be perfectly honest, he does most of the day-to-day work with the leagues themselves. So if you know John, please thank him. He does a heck of a lot of work with us, and we're very grateful to have him. He is also, here at Scopus, our customer outreach specialist. And what that means is if you have a question about perhaps you want to run your own league, running a virtual match, running a final, anything that has to do with competition best practices, he is available to work with you, work with your club, and as part of your Orion license. And he has a lot of experience to go both using Orion and experience in the sport that he can share with you. So if you do have a question like this and would like to schedule a time to meet with John, I encourage you to do so. Contact our offices and we can set up a time for you. All right. So again, I know a few more people will be logging in, but here are some logistics for the meeting itself. I will try to keep this to about 40 minutes. We do have a lot of content to get through. The topics today are specific to the leagues, what we call the spring leagues. If you have a question about how to use Orion, if you have a question about shooting sports in general, unfortunately, we really can't answer those questions here. This is specific to the leagues. With that said, though, I do encourage you to ask questions. All of this content, all of this information, this meeting is for you, the coaches. So I want to make sure that when you leave this meeting that you have all the information that you need to succeed in the leagues themselves. So please ask questions as we go along. You may use the YouTube chat box to do so. And I will either answer the questions myself or one of my team members will get back to you individually, I should say. All right, and for disclosure, we will be recording today's webinar. It will be available for download probably tomorrow. All right, some statistics for the league. This is the 7th year that we are running the New Shooter and Air Pistol League. This year we have 57 teams in the New Shooter League and 8 teams in the Air Pistol League. All right, let's talk about eligibility to compete. Air Pistol, this is the easy one. Air Pistol League, everybody is eligible. Air Pistol League is open to both junior athletes and open age group athletes. So I encourage everybody in your club who would like to participate to do so. At the end of the season, we do name a junior all-star team. To be a member of the junior all-star team, you do have to be a junior to be nominated and to earn the privilege. All right, the New Shooter League eligibility, there are some additional rules here. First, you do have to be eligible under the National 3-Position Air Rifle rules. Basically, what that means is you have to be a high school age athlete or younger. Second, it is for sporter class athletes only. And then third, as the name of the league implies, it's for new shooters only. And we define this as athletes who had their first competition experience on or after the 1st of August of last year. And kind of what this means in slightly more human terms is if you have an athlete who had their first competition this school year, they're eligible. If you had an athlete who had their first competition last school year or before, they're not eligible. And also, please note, we do make exceptions for BB gun athletes or air pistol athletes. They would still be eligible for the New Shooter League. What we're really looking for is competitions for air rifle or small bore rifle. All right, coaches. As I said, this entire meeting is to make sure you are going to be successful, but it's also a little bit for us to make sure the entire league is successful. And to have a successful league, we both have a role to play in this in the success. Us as the league administrator and you as the coaches. Again, we both have a part to play for the overall success of the league. So, a few examples. As administrators, one of our jobs is to schedule the games weekly. And as coach, if you have a conflict during the season, you have to tell us so we can work around your conflict. As administrators, we have to announce the winners of the games each Monday. As coaches, to help us out there, you have to get your scores turned in by Monday so we can do our job. And then as administrators, one of our jobs is to make sure that there is a standard playing field for all the teams in the league. And as coaches, you're kind of responsible for adhering to those, basically to the rules, to make sure all of us are playing by the same rules. You're responsible for making sure they're applied at your local club. And then finally, the final example is as administrators, we have a responsibility to promote the league to the media. And as coaches, to help us out to promote the league to the media, please submit your team photos. Every year, first question the media asks us is, can we have some photos? If we have one of your team photos, we're going to give it to the media. And I will also say kind of unapologetically that when we emphasize teams in the press releases, we specifically look for teams that have team photos. So get the photos in, we can help you out. All right, the season is divided into two parts. This is for both the air rifle and the this is for both the new shooter and the air pistol league. The preseason is going on now. The preseason goes until on Sunday. All the teams are strongly encouraged to participate. And really what this is your chance. The preseason is your chance to participate in a league-type game without the scores actually counting in the league. One unique thing about the preseason is if you want to participate multiple times, you're allowed to. So, teams, please, if you haven't participated in the preseason, please do so. You have until the end of the week to do so. If you have participated, thank you. And if you have participated and want to do it again, you're allowed to. And then the regular season. This is where it's all at. The regular season will start on Monday, and it goes for 10 weeks until the 7th of April. During those 10 weeks, every team will shoot 8 games. And you'll notice 8 games in 10 weeks, so that means every team is going to have 2 bye weeks, 2 weeks that you're not shooting any games. Many of you submitted bye-week requests when you registered. Thank you. We will honor those. And then during the regular season, the schedule is created dynamically. And I'll tell you more about what that dynamic scheduling means in a slide or two. And then also during the regular season, we encourage all of your athletes who want to participate to go ahead and participate. Regardless if you have 4 athletes or 40 athletes, all of them are really encouraged to shoot with your team. And Orion will always take the top 4 athlete scores to constitute your team score during the regular season. I guess it does it too for the preseason. All right. On Friday, in 2 days, we will be releasing the schedule. And when we release the schedule, the one thing we cannot change after we release the schedule is your team name. So I am going to pause for just a moment and ask each of you who have joined us to take a moment and click on the links we provided in the YouTube chat box, or you can, copy and paste it here. Take a moment and verify your team name, verify your location, and verify any bye-week requests you may have submitted. Again, I will take about a minute pause to allow you to do so. And coaches, if you do have a correction to your team name or would like a different bi-week request, you may submit that to our email, league@scopus.tech. Okay, let's continue on. All right, the league, 10 weeks, and you'll have 8 games during those 10 weeks. I just got a report that the link doesn't work for the New Shooter League, and it looks like we've already corrected that, so thank you. All right. Excuse me. All right, the games. There is one game each week, and for the purpose of the league, the game is Monday through Sunday. So what that means is you can shoot as early as Monday each week, and you have through Sunday to shoot and submit your scores each week. In the New Shooter League, the course of fire is a 3x10. In the new kneeling, prone, standing ordering, this is the same ordering as used in the Olympic Games. Everything is scored in decimal, just like the air rifle events in the Olympic Games, and they are governed by the national standard 3-position air rifle rules. The Air Pistol League, the course of fire is 60 shots, surprisingly, just like the Olympic Games, scored in integer, again, like the Olympic Games, and it's governed by the C&P airgun competition rules. All right, all games are virtual, and what that means is your team will compete from your home range, and the team that you're competing against each week will also be competing from their home range, and through the magic of the internet, the scores get merged online, and it looks like a shoulder-to-shoulder match. In each game, all scoring is going to be done electronically. So if you're shooting on paper, you'll be using Orion to score your paper targets. Or if you have a ESD system, Athena, if you have Athena system, thank you very much. Or Megalink or Seus is also acceptable. All right, one of your responsibilities each week, coaches, is to schedule a time for your team to shoot. And some of your teams, they're quite large. You know, some of you, I think you do have 40 people on your team. And that may require you to shoot on multiple relays, and it might even require you to shoot across multiple days. That is fine. Again, you have the entire week to shoot and submit your scores. So in this little example I have up here, I have a 4-person team, and two of my team members shot on Tuesday, and on Tuesday the other 2 team members just practiced. And then on Thursday, it was the opposite. 2 of the team members practiced, and the other 2 team members shot their league score. This is perfectly fine. You are allowed to have your athletes shoot across multiple days for the league. Now, what is not allowed is trying to shoot your league scores multiple times. That is not allowed. That will actually result in a disqualification. All right. So we talked about the games. So now let's talk about how we schedule who you shoot against each week. And we have a process that we call dynamic scheduling. And dynamic scheduling has kind of 2 goals that are at times contradictory to each other. The first goal is to provide a diversity of teams to compete against. It'd be really boring if you shot against the same team every week. The other goal is to have you shoot against a team of near equal skill level. So somebody, about the same scores that you're going to shoot. So that's the goals of dynamic scheduling. The way this works in practice is the first 2 weeks of the league, all of the scheduling is done randomly. We'll release the schedule on Friday, and again, the schedule, because we don't have any scores in the system, is completely random. Starting the 3rd week, we schedule games based on results from the first week. And then the 4th week, we schedule games based on results from the first 2 weeks. And then this pattern kind of continues for the rest of the league. And when we do schedule teams, we use what we call league points. And I'll explain what that is in a moment, to schedule teams of near equal skill level to compete against. A couple notes for the Air Pistol League, because we only have 8 teams in the league. At some point during the league, you'll shoot against the same team. We do try to make sure that doesn't happen back to back, but in the Air Pistol League, at some point you will shoot against the same team twice during the league itself. And then one final note is if a team does have 2 or more DNSs did not start, we stop scheduling you. It's just not fair to the other teams who are shooting to shoot against a team that is not. All right, rankings. I mentioned a moment ago we use league points to do the scheduling. We also use league points to do the rankings. And what league points are is a combination of 2 things. Your seasonal average plus, in effect, bonus points for each win that your team earns during the season. And in New Shooter League, you get 10 points, and the Air Pistol League, because it's a bigger course of fire, you get 15 points. And also note that there are actually negative points if you have a DNS. The lesson there is compete every week because the DNS actually sets you back. And even bigger negative points if there's a disqualification. And then a couple examples here at the bottom of the slides. Again, it's 2 factors, your seasonal average, and bonus points for each win that you get. All right, how to participate. Well, I mentioned a moment ago about the preseason. The best time to learn how to the best time to learn how to participate in the league is by participating in the preseason. So again, I will encourage you coaches, if you haven't participated in the preseason, to do so. You have the rest of the week to do so. And then the actual participation itself, we have instructions in our instructions and range command manual. This is a downloadable file. We will send it out tomorrow. I don't believe we send it out. It is available on our website, but we'll send it out tomorrow or Friday. And it's a PDF file. You can download it. It has the instructions for downloading the games within Orion. It has the range commands. It has the timings involved to compete. So please use this as you're participating in the league. Please note that a new game will be available each week, Monday at noon. And again, you have the entire week, Monday through Sunday, to shoot and submit your scores. And finally, the use of the range command script it is mandatory. But there's lots of different places that you can get the same script. Again, we have the printed PDF file that we will send out. If you're using Athena, thank you. If you're using Athena, they are built into the software, and we physically force you to use it. And then finally, if you want to use the back of the rule book, the same scripts are written in the back of your CMP rule books. All right, very, very important. Each week, coaches, please, I beg you, after you have shot and scored your targets and you believe that you have submitted your targets, please check that they got submitted correctly. The way that you can check that your scores got submitted correctly is by clicking the globe icon within Orion, and that's going to open up the game page on our Results Center. There, you can see the scores that your team shot, and if the team that you're competing against has already shot, you'll see their scores as well. Very important. Again, I beg you, please check that your scores got submitted correctly to our web system. If they don't look correct, something is wrong. Take a moment to try to figure out why didn't the scores get submitted. And if you can't figure it out, please contact our offices so we can assist you. We have a support team. They're here for your assistance. Please contact them if your scores don't look correct online. And one other note is one other note is we are actively porting over Results Center to our new results website. So hopefully, fingers crossed, during the league itself, there's going to be a major facelift for the league pages. And then finally, for the slide, on Fridays, approximately 11 o'clock, we do send an email out to all the coaches that week, telling them what scores we have in the system for them. When you get this email, take a look at it. If the scores look correct, you've shot and the scores look correct, great. You don't need to do anything. If you have shot and the scores in this email don't look correct, contact us. Let us help you get the scores corrected. And of course, if you get this email on Friday and you haven't shot yet because you're scheduled to shoot on Sunday, you can just ignore the email. All right. Next, incredibly important part to emphasize is the scores are due Monday at noon. Coaches, this is true for both you, your team, and is also true for the team that you're competing against that week. Both of you have until Monday at noon to turn in your scores. And coaches, please remember what that means is for your opposing team is some of your opposing team may have shot on Tuesday, and some of them might not shoot until Saturday. So even if you look online on say Friday, and you see your opposing team has shot, they still have 2 more days for additional athletes to shoot. So please keep that in mind when you're looking at scores online before that Monday deadline. All right, like I said, Monday deadline. Monday at noon is when scores are due, and a lot of things happen at that time period. Of course, scores come in. We declare the winners of each of the games. We send out the press releases. We update the rankings, and we also randomly check targets to make sure the targets got scored correctly, that you as coaches did your jobs correctly. So some of the things that we check, and again, it's random. We pick a number of teams each week, and we look at the targets that you submitted. We look for correct scoring, and we also look for the correct application of penalties. And I can tell you from experience, the single biggest mistake that is made is the application of the too many shots in a stage rule. All right, I have the rule listed here from the air rifle rules. Air pistol shooters, it's worded slightly different in your rule book, but it's effectively the same thing. If you do have too many shots in a position, you annul the highest value shot on the last target, and then there is a 2-point penalty that's applied to the lowest value shot on the first target. Anyway, when we're reviewing the targets each week, and we see something like this, like a coach may not have applied this rule correctly, our standard operational procedure is just to make the correction. We apply the rule correctly, and we'll let the coach know that we applied the rule correctly, and we'll educate the coach on for the future so that he or she knows how to apply the rule correctly. Really, about the only time that we'll take added action is if we find a coach that keeps, even after being told multiple times that they're not applying the rule correctly. That's when we'll assess additional penalties. All right. During the course of the league, there will be special circumstances that come up. All right. The first one is really just scheduling conflicts. Many of you, when you registered for the league, submitted bi-week requests. You have, a lot of you are high schools. You have spring breaks. You have teacher work days, and you submitted bi-week requests, so you can work around that. Thank you. If during the course of the league something comes up, maybe your range is going to get shut down during a week, contact us as soon as possible so we can work with you to allow your team to participate. The sooner you contact us, the more likely that we can work with you to allow you to participate. If you wait until Wednesday of the week that you can't shoot, there's probably nothing that we can do for you. All right, second circumstance that comes up. An athlete is sick. The example I give every year is this happens to basketball teams all of the time. If your starting point guard is sick, you got to rely on your backup. It's the same thing with shooting. If one of your top 4 athletes is sick one week, you got to rely on everybody else from your team to pick up the slack. All right, if you have 2 games during the week, which would only be caused due to a schedule change, you do have to shoot both of the games separately. And then finally, it's wintertime here. There will be some cases where winter storm comes up that prevents you from shooting. And these happen at the last moment. We get it. If it is a weather condition, we will postpone a game for you and let you basically shoot it the next week. In a extreme event, we don't like doing this unless we absolutely have to. We may cancel a game. All right. If you haven't quite caught the underlying context here, is if something comes up during the league, scheduling conflict, you have a question about the rules, you have a question about submitting your scores, contact us. We're here to help you. There's 2 ways that you can contact us. Email, league@scopus.tech, or you can call our support team. You can see the number here. Again, something comes up, you have a question, you have a concern, contact us. We will work with you. All right, so let's talk about some fun things. Awards. All right, each team, this year we decided to give league pennants to each participating team. And for the athletes who are participating in the league, we'll give out participation pins and league stickers. And we have brand new participation pins this year, and we have brand new league stickers this year. So every team gets a pennant. Every athlete gets a pin and a sticker for their rifle or pistol. Now, as far as the end of the league competitive awards go, in the new shooter league, because it is new shooters, we try to do something a little bit different, and we try to encourage young athletes as much as possible. So we give out as many awards as much as possible, and it's the awards for the new shooter league are based on 3 criteria. And to get the awards, you have to meet 2 of those 3 criteria. The first is you win 5 games or more. That's the competitive part of the equation. The second is participation. If you participate in all 8 games, that also meets the criteria. And then the third, I really like this one. The third one is if your team shows improvement. So if you're working kind of outside of your games and you're working hard to improve, you can also meet the criteria just by getting better. So again, if you meet 2 of those 3 criteria, we're going to give medals and a banner to your team for doing so. On the Air Pistol League, this is pure competition, and we award the top 3 teams in the Air Pistol League with medals and banners. All right, I mentioned the new shooter. One of the criteria is to show improvement, and the way that we calculate that is we use Excel, and there is a function in Excel called linist. And okay, without going into the weird mathematical statistics of this, when you plug in your team scores for the 8 weeks, what comes out of the linist function is basically a metric that says points per game improvement. And if you have 5 points per game improvement during the league, you meet the criteria. And you can see a little example here on our slide on how that is actually done. All right, Air Pistol League. We have to encourage junior athletes, we have a junior all-star team that we name at the end of the season. To be named to the junior all-star team, you, of course, have to be a junior, a U21 athlete. For the purpose of the league, we declare an athlete to be a junior if you are under the age of 21 on the first day of the league. So on Monday, if you're under the age of 21, you're eligible. And then what we do is we average your athlete's scores for the 8 games during the season, and the top 4 are named to the junior all-star team. Coaches, we do need your help identifying who is a junior. So we will be contacting you and let us know who on your team qualifies as a junior athlete. All right, we also have league merchandise available for sale every year after the conclusion of the league, we have a survey, and coaches, you have thank you very much. You have submitted your comments on the surveys in the past, and one of the comments in the past has been, "Hey, I would like to." Be able to purchase T-shirts for the league. So we have that this year. So if you would like to purchase separately T-shirts for your team, they are available on our website at www.scopus.tech. All right, press releases. As mentioned, one of our responsibilities as administrators is to try to promote the league, the sport, and all the teams to the media. And each week we send out 2 different sets of press releases. We have one press release for each game. We're going to send that to you, and during the time of registration, if you listed a media contact, we'll also send it directly to the media on your behalf. And we also send out, kind of more globally, a weekly recap of the league, of the competition for each week. We write that up and we send that out on Monday. And again, the teams that we highlight in this kind of weekly recap, I will unapologetically tell you that we pick teams that have submitted team photos. Makes for a much better press release, so we pick them. Speaking of team photos, yes, please, coaches, gather your teams together, take photos, and send those photos in to us. We will use the photos both on your team page on the league website. If a member of the media requests photos, we will send it to the media on your behalf. And again, we keep these photos in the press releases as well. So coaches, please gather your team together. If you have team colors, team uniforms, please wear them. It makes for better photos. And submit it to our team members here. Again, the email address is league@scopus.tech. All right, coaches, we kind of gone through all this, responsibilities that you have already, but I kind of want to sum them up on one slide here. Coaches, you are, of course, responsible for knowing the rules and the league program. Your attendance here is a great first step in knowing the league program and the rules. You, of course, are responsible for conducting each game locally by the rulebook, National Standard 3 Possession of Rules, or the CMP Airgun rules. And again, the use of the range script is mandatory each week. Another responsibility, coaches, you have is to schedule each game for your team within the time frame of the week. Again, Monday through Sunday. You're responsible for the correct use of the Orion scoring system. We here at Scopus can educate you, can teach you, but ultimately it's your responsibility to know how to use it. And this is also true if you have an ESD system. Next point is you're responsible for letting the league administrators know if anything comes up during the season. We're here to help, but we're not mind readers. So please, something comes up, contact us. We'll work with you. And then finally, of course, the honesty and integrity of your team. Coaches, again, from the surveys, one of the things that you mentioned to us in the past is you wanted to be able to contact the other coaches in the league and kind of wish them good luck. And this was a really great idea. We heard about this a few seasons ago. So we provide all of your contact information to all the other coaches. And we're going to send this, it's a spreadsheet, online spreadsheet. We're going to send this coaches' contact information out probably on Monday. And what we're going to, the contact information is your name, your team name, your email address, and phone number. Obviously, coaches, if you do not want us to share your contact information with each other, we will honor that. Again, contact us, and we'll leave your name out. And coaches, please use this information for the purpose that it was intended. Respect your fellow coaches' privacy. Use it to wish each other luck, but keep it to that purpose. All right, coaches. Now, kind of as we're getting to the end of the presentation, I kind of want to challenge you to use the league as an opportunity to help teach your team some sportsmanship skills. If you haven't figured it out by now, every week, half of you are going to win your games, half of you are going to lose your games. And this is a chance to help teach some sportsmanship to your athletes. If you win, hey, be proud. Give yourself high fives. That's okay. It really is. Be happy with your accomplishment. But on the same token, honor your opponent. They worked just as much as you did during the game, and you can kind of give them the proverbial pat on the back for their effort. That really goes a long way. And if you lose, you know what? Respect the fact that your opponent shot better that week. That game that week, they had a better performance. They win. You know what? That's something to be applauded. But equally, if you lose, use that as motivation to get your team back into the gym, back into the range, and work harder to improve. So, maybe the next week you can win. All right, hints to success. Participate in every game. As we mentioned, if you have a DNS, that's actually a negative. So first hint to success, just participate and avoid taking a DNS. Second hint to success is check that your scores got turned in correctly. I emphasized this kind of emphatically earlier. I have to emphasize it again. Check that your scores got turned in correctly. And then the third hint to success really comes down to the fact that league play favors teams that improve. The way that you improve is practice. The more that you practice, the more that you'll improve, the better that you'll do in the league. All right. Finally, just a little bit of news from the company itself. Many of you have already seen that we launched a brand new website this past year called Results. Results with a Z. Really kind of proud of it. It's the first mobile-friendly online results system for the shooting sports. We are actively porting over the league pages to Results. So again, hopefully you'll get a nice facelift on the web for the league result pages. And you can see the URL there. And then we also, within Results, launched last year what we call Score History. And Score History allows athletes who have an account to track every score that they ever fired online. Very, very proud of this feature. And with Score History, you can keep it private, or you can even have a public profile page that you create. All right, that is it for the content. Coaches, thank you very much for attending. I hope this was useful to each of you. I will stay online for a few minutes to see if there are any questions. If you're going to drop off, again, thank you very much for attending. Good luck to each of you during the season. Again, you have questions about the league, questions about Orion, any kind of scheduling conflict that comes up, contact us as soon as possible so we may work with you. Again, I will stay on the line for a few moments to see if there are any questions from you, the coaches. All right, I apologize, coaches. I just realized I had the mute button on the entire time. All right, there was a question about the assessment of the extra shot penalty, and let me repeat my answer without the mute button on. I apologize for that. The question was specific to rifle shooting, so I will answer it within the context of the rifle rulebook. Air pistol teams, the rules similar, but please check the specifics of the air pistol rulebook. Okay, in air rifle, if you have a 10 bull target and you have 11 shots on those 10 bulls, the shot that gets nullified is the highest value shot on the overall target. If you not specifically the highest value shot on the bull with two shots on it, it's the highest value shot on the overall target. And then the penalty that gets applied is the lowest value shot overall on the target. So hopefully that answers the question. Inside of Orion, inside of Orion, if you are shooting on paper, if you attempt to select a shot that's not the highest value shot on the target, Orion does give you a warning, but you can, again, the penalty is actually applied to the highest value shot overall on the target. All right, does not appear to have any more questions coming in, so I will close out the live stream here in just a moment. Again, coaches, thank you very much for attending. Good luck to you and your team members during the course of the season. And again, because I have emphasized this so many times, I feel like I need to again. If you have any questions, any concerns, any scheduling conflicts, contact us as soon as possible so we may work with you. All right, that's it, coaches. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day, and again, good luck on the season.